Hey there, Danny here. Welcome to my ramblings. I hope that you have enjoyed the challenge for this week. Still working on editing the videos. I got a lot of footage. Forgive me for looking like a mess tonight, but I started my renovations on the RV. I spent majority of the day pulling carpeting out, which is an exciting thing to do when you've never ever done it before in your life. But really, how hard can it be? I'm sure I'll be sore tomorrow because, well, I'm not used to having to do that kind of upper body strength. And the dogs later on unsupervised while I did it. The next step will be the linoleum, and then I'm going to paint and do some new window treatments, and then I'm going to get rid of the couch and the dinette and some other things. I'll share it with you when I'm done with all of it, before or after all of it. I hope that you're enjoying your challenge. I hope you learned something from it. Keep going with all of the challenges. So far, I have a new one for you at the end of this video. Tonight, I would like to talk to you about sacrifice. Sacrifice is important. You don't have to make sacrifices for somebody that's not doing it for you too. It's a mutual thing. If you're making all the sacrifices and somebody else isn't making the same type of sacrifices or the same amount as you, you really need to reevaluate that relationship and realize that this person really doesn't care about your growth. They just care about whatever they can get from you. That may be, maybe, like we've discussed before, that you know, you're a good person, so if they're not a good person being with you, they think in their brain everybody else will think that they're a good person too. That's not how it works, but some people think that way. Or maybe they're just using you because you make their life easier. So when we sacrifice for the people that we love and care about, we have to make sacrifices. They don't have to be major. Sometimes they are. But when you choose to make sacrifices for somebody that you love, and I'm not just talking intimate relationships, you know, like man and woman or significant other type relationships. I'm talking all family, friends, everything. When you're making sacrifices for other people, you're deciding that you're okay with, okay, I don't desperately need that. They need something more than I do. If you are making these sacrifices repeatedly and these people are not giving it back to you, why are you making them? No is its own statement. And if you leave any excuses out as to why you don't want to do something, they're not going to argue with you. The fact that you said no, they might be mad, but more than likely they're just mad at you because they can't use you like they could in the past. Sacrifices should be made for the betterment of the people involved. And that means one-on-one with another person. That means as a group or anything else. Like parents who have a blue-collar job and don't make a lot of money may make the sacrifice that they're not gonna, you know, they're not gonna buy newer cars, or they're not gonna go out to eat. They're gonna really pinch their pennies to make sure that they can get their kids through college. That would be a sacrifice. If you don't want to make a sacrifice, you don't have to. But sacrifice is an important thing. And here's why I think it's important. I think it's important because we're taught in the Bible and with our religions that being of service is important. Isn't that why they preach to you about tithes? Because being of service is important. So you kind of have to make sacrifices, but be picky and choosy on who you're willing to make sacrifices for. And the sacrifice should never be anything more than what you can live with. So if somebody's asking you, say you're in a relationship and your partner gets a job in another state and you just found your dream job. And you've only been out of college for a short period of time, so you're really excited about where you're at. And your significant other's like, yeah, but we have a relationship and I can make better money and you won't have to work. If you don't want to have to go someplace new, and you don't want to have to give up your dream job, and you don't want to have to stay at home while they support you, you can say no. If you feel that it's for the betterment and that, yeah, I can get a job anywhere, go for it. I've made sacrifices most of my adult life. I can tell you that I used to before make sacrifices that were not always in my best interest. I mean, when it came to my children, those sacrifices were always important for my kids. I always made sure that I put them first as much as I possibly could. But I used to give way more sacrifices than were deserving to people that I've been in a relationship with, a significant other type situation. And I just kind of thought like the rest of everybody else does, that other people think like me. That's not true. I mean, we all kind of grow up and start thinking, oh, well, these people think like me and these people think like me. Well, that's kind of what really wrecks relationships, because nobody thinks exactly the same. You might have a lot in common and a lot of things that you do think the same, but that doesn't necessarily mean you agree on everything. And you shouldn't. How else are you going to grow if everything is exactly the same? You're not. So sacrifice is important, but you also need to realize that sometimes sacrifice is not going to work, no matter what. So I will be I will be putting a video up of all my remodel and stuff, the before and after, when I get done with it. It's a long journey of what I want to do, and I shared with you about my having to turn wrenches after the second ex-husband disappeared, and I grew a lot from that. So when I bought the RV, I was originally going to look at buying something newer. And then I said, no, I'm going to go I'm going to go for something that's a little older and might need some work. So I bought an older RV. It's outdated. It needs some modernization. But at no point during this time of doing this has it crossed my mind that, oh, maybe I should have somebody look at this. When something goes wrong because of me turning those wrenches all the time and building such a good self-esteem and self-confidence, I don't think about, oh, I could pay somebody to do this. I could have somebody else, do this for me. That doesn't cross my mind. The first thing that crosses my mind is, I want to do this. Okay, what does this entail? Again, I'm back to Google and YouTube, and I'm watching videos, and I'm reading stuff and whatever else. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. Then I get to gather the tools and the things that I need. And usually I'm missing something or two. And if book time for anything says 3 hours, it's going to take me 6. But when I get done with it, I'm going to be so proud of myself. I'm going to sit back and think, wow, I did this. So I know I don't think like a lot of people, especially women when it comes to that type of stuff. I like to know those things. But then I was raised, my mother was a single mother. That's a whole nother story. You'll get that at some point. And I watched her struggle to get things done and have to ask men and neighbors and whatever else for help to do these things. And I watched her struggle. So as growing up as a little girl, and I was kind of a little bit of a tomboy growing up, I kind of didn't want to not know things. So I had no problem helping people that I've been with do tasks and jobs that most people think are male related. I enjoy working. I usually enjoyed working with whoever I was with because I really didn't have that much knowledge in those areas. But after having to be my own mechanic for my son and I for so long, and figuring things out, I'm like, well, I can figure anything out. I'm all right. So this is a big project I'm taking on. But I'm very excited about it, and I'll become a little toned after this. So for your challenge this week, is to open doors for people. So if you're walking into a gas station, or you're walking into a grocery store, or you're walking into a restaurant, and there are people near you, you hold the door open. And if they start to speed up, you tell them, no need to rush. It's okay, I'm in no hurry. Doesn't matter if you're in a hurry or not, but you tell them that and leave it at that. Now, next week's challenge will be added to what I just gave you tonight. These challenges are really not that difficult. They're a little bit out of everybody's comfort zone. But by the end of all of the challenges, you're going to see why I did it. And you're going to see a huge difference in the way you interact with people in the world around you. So, this week, make sure to open the door for people and tell them they don't need to rush. Let them take their pace to get to the door. Let's show some kindness. And with that said, I will let you go for this evening. I'll be back in a day or two. Hopefully, I'll be over my soreness and I'll be able to get the rest of the linoleum and the rest of the carpeting out. But I'm going to have a very good upper body by the time I'm done with this. Anyways, good night, guys. It's been fun. See you in a day or two.